Hey everyone, it's Tim from Harbourfront Center, getting ready for another Thursday crafternoon. Today we're making community helpers. So I'm going to show you a few examples that I was working on today to get myself ready. So I'm sure some of you are thinking, what is a community helper? So a community helper is just anyone who helps us out in our community. And of course, many of us will know that a community is a group of people who share a special connection. So that could be the community of your family in your home. It could be the community at your class at school of people who learn together and come together. Now we have online communities of learning like Harbourfront Center, school visits, through our e-learning, also through maybe even your neighborhood when you're walking around and you see familiar faces. That's a community. So community helpers are people whose job it is to help us out in our communities. Can you think of anyone whose job it is to help you out in the community? Yeah, so there's lots of different things. The first ones that come to mind for me, of course, are things like paramedics, doctors, teachers, firefighters, police officers, people who collect our garbage and recycling, lifeguards, cross guards, anything like that. So I'll show you an example of what we're going to work towards today, and then we'll get a chance to get started, okay? So this is my community helper. This one is a lifeguard, and we can tell that this one is a lifeguard. They're wearing their first aid symbol here, a nice pair of funky board shorts, and my personal favorite, flip-flops. So that's one of ours. And the other community helper I had a chance to work on today, this is a crossing guard. So they've got their orange reflective vest on, some pretty cool pants if you ask me, and then they also have a stop sign to help us cross safely, okay? So I'll show you what we need today. So number one is you need some cardstock or something that's a bit thicker. So if you have cardstock at home, awesome. I don't, but I'm actually going to use, this is a box. You can see I had some chicken wings this week. So this is just a box that I would normally put in recycling. So you can use cracker boxes or pizza box, anything like that, or cardstock. So that, again, something that's a bit thicker that's going to be nice and sturdy for us to work with. You're going to need, of course, scissors, our good friend glue as well. And then I just collected a bunch of paper that I had around the house to help me think about things like their clothing and decorating. So this is a file folder. I've got little loot bags that I might have got from a party or as a gift. Construction paper, and a card. So this was a thank you card that I received. I just used a cover of it, but I did appreciate the thank you, okay? Other things you can work with, totally up to you, things to decorate with. So if you want, you can have crayons, markers, pencil to help you draw, whatever it is that you'd like. So the first thing that we're going to do, we've got our nice big piece of cardstock here, is we're going to need to draw out a big outside shape for a person. So I'm just going to turn this over to the back because we're starting off with a nice plain design, and we can break down our body into simple 2D shapes, okay? So our face, if we're representing our face as something that's flat, it's the 2D shape of a circle. So a nice big circle to start. Then we can think about our neck. Our neck is really just a big rectangle, okay? And then I'll talk through the rest of the bodies in a minute, okay? So first things first, you're going to take your cardstock, and I'm actually going to do this myself in marker so that you can see it, but some of you might be able to do this in pencil, okay? So here we go. First step, a nice big circle. So I'm going to draw it up here, and we're going to do a nice big circle for our head. And I started by thinking about a circle that would be about the same size as a quarter or a loonie that you might have in your wallet, okay? Next, we know our neck. We're going to make it a nice simple rectangle. So just here like that, I did two little lines. And then think about our bodies. Our shoulders actually stick out beyond the side of our faces, right? We're wider on our shoulders than we are on our head. So I'm going to start drawing out the design from here for our shoulders. We've got an arm on this side and an arm on this side. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to get a chance to cut and fix it up as well, okay? For our hands, I'm not going to worry about all of our individual fingers. We can draw them or add them later. I'm just going to do a nice round end. So it's like, it would be what we call a semicircle. Bring that back in. And the same thing over here on this side. I'm going to try my best to keep working upside down for all of you. Okay, next is going to be our body. So the body that we have is just going to be another really long rectangle, right? And then we're going to think about our legs. So I'm going to do our legs as 2 rectangles as well. And I'm going to show a little bit of space in the middle. So just like the sample we had here. So we have a bit of difference here. Boom. Let me go 1, 2. There you go. Hopefully everyone can still see that. And then for feet, I'm just doing a pointy end like this. 1. And over here as well. Yeah, you like my sound effects, I'm sure. Okay. And then right here in the middle. So that's a really simple body that we're going to start. And that's going to be the base to start decorating our community helper. And then we're going to cut it out. So again, using scissors, if there is a responsible adult or an older sibling in your house that you want to ask for help, you're totally welcome to ask for help. We all need a little bit of help sometimes, okay? And I'm going to cut this as quickly as I can. And while I'm doing that, this first step, everyone is doing the same thing, right? So it doesn't matter what you want your community helper to be. You're all going to be starting out with the same outside shape. So again, it's just a piece of cardstock or thicker paper that we're using as the base for our community helper. So I'm going to get thinking about the community helper that I'm going to draw today. So the community helper I'm going to draw, I think I might actually do a doctor. I know many of us are thinking about being healthy and safe, practicing staying at home with our immediate families. We might not be seeing all of our friends, but it's because we want to make sure that we're doing the right things, and doctors are people in our community who look after our health. You'll also notice that I'm not cutting perfectly along the lines. That's okay. We're going to be putting on clothing and other things so that doesn't have to be perfect. It's one of the fun things about art and being creative is there's nothing right or wrong about it, right? Boom. Okay, and then the last thing I've got to do is I just need to cut out this piece here. Boom, 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 boom. Great. So as I said, I think from today, my community helper is going to be a doctor. So I'm going to choose that the doctor for today, he or she, the doctor, he, she, or they, the doctor is going to be wearing, sometimes we call the type of clothing they wear scrubs, okay? So scrubs, for my doctor, they're going to be blue. So I'm going to choose to use the blue folder. And I'm going to teach you another trick. When you want to have your clothing fit your creature, because all of ours are different, we're going to just take this, and you can actually just line it up and actually just trace out the outside shape, okay? So again, taking this, and you're just tracing the outside shape so you know roughly how big, okay? So I'm going to trace the outside here. It's going to go down the legs like this. Keep going down here. Oh, there we go. But again, you, my friends, can do this on your table. I'm just doing it up here so everyone can see. And then again, oh, it's hard to see that black outline on here, friends. So sorry about that. But I did trace it in black marker, okay? So from here, we're going to go ahead and cut out the first outline of our object. And I actually cut it a little bit bigger than my outline so that we have a little bit of space to work with, okay? Today is actually going to be a bit more cutting than last week. So again, if you need help or if you need an extra set of hands to cut, by all means, just ask a responsible adult, a sibling, someone in your home, okay? Perfect. So I'm going to keep going really quick so that everyone can see. You might need to take a little bit longer on this one. Again, I told you I like sound effects when I'm working. Perfect. So then we have a really straightforward, it looks like what we call scrubs. I'm actually going to cover up so that we can see the hands stick out. And I'm going to cut mine for my feet as well. So on the back, you can see that I just used the shape that I traced as a guide. So it sticks out a little bit on all sides. Okay. And then I'm going to do this to the pants here. Just trim them up. Okay. And that's, my friends, our outfit, our scrubs for my doctor. Okay. And again, maybe I actually need to do a little bit shorter sleeves. What do you think? We want to be able to make sure those doctors can use their hands. So he, she, or they are able to use their hands. Okay. Awesome. There we go. Boom. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue that on. Okay, perfect. We'll glue it on. So again, using your glue, you're just going to take some glue, open up the glue, and you're going to you can put it onto the back of the clothing itself. And then you're just gonna, you can actually just keep working with the glue. I just do a big outline like it was a stick person. I'm sure we've had a chance to draw stick people that are just single lines that show us what a person might look like. So I just did a little bit of glue on the back here like a stick person. So then when I line it up on here, I am ready to go. So there we go, friends. We've got our community helper. Step number 1 is this community helper needed some clothing. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. And if any of my friends have been watching other weeks, we know when we've used the glue, we count to 10, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, so what else do we think doctors need? What else are they wearing these days to keep themselves safe? And for me, when I've gone to see a doctor, sometimes when I go to see doctors, if I'm just feeling a bit unwell, they sometimes don't always have a mask on, but I know now they're all wearing masks for their own safety. So I'm going to do a little mask too. And I've seen people get pretty fun with the masks and do different colors. So I think my mask is going to be a nice green mask for today. So again, we're just going to cut out a little mask to keep our doctor safe. Okay. So again, up to you. You can either trace out the head and then cut a mask for it, or I'm just going to what I call eyeball it. So I'm just going to look at this piece of paper and cut what I think looks like the right size for a mask. Great. There we go. And then we're going to pop this on here as well. Boom. And then, my friends, from here, the decorating is totally up to you. So you can choose. You could choose. You can put shoes on it. You could put gloves on it. Of course, doctors are using gloves to keep themselves healthy and safe, right? Perfect. So you can choose to add gloves here or here. You could choose to add shoes down here. Also, it's totally up to you. You can draw a face or add a face. I know I've seen some people with hair when we've done this activity before, so you can take that and cut out a piece of hair. One great tip, if you don't have the color that you're looking for, you're thinking, Tim, I really want blonde hair or brown hair, but I don't have any of that color paper. If you have markers or crayons, you can just color a big section on your wonderful paper. I'll show you. Color a big section on your paper, and then you can actually cut it out. And there you go. You're going to have your brown hair or your blonde hair or whatever. Maybe it's got really interesting different color hair. So just coloring a piece or a section of white paper with anything like a crayon or a marker. And then the same. And then I'm just going to take this wonderful head, line it up here, and trace it out so that I know how big I need my hair to be. So again, you're cutting it just a little bit bigger than that. Great. And friends, believe it or not, from here, you can just keep working on anything that you would like, okay? So I know that I have lots of friends from all over on this call, so thank you, my friends from Toronto who are joining us. I know Uncle Tim knows he has his nephews on this call as well, so thanks for tuning in. Perfect. Awesome. So there you go. You've got kind of like the outline of the hair here, okay? And I'm choosing to stick that actually on the back, okay? I also know we have lots of friends from Harbourfront Center and other places in the city that celebrate art as well. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So there we go. We've got our community helpers. So as you can see, first thing first, we cut out our big outside shape from cardboard or heavy paper. And then we were able to use that as our trace or guide to think about how big we wanted our clothing to be. Then for this one, for my doctor, I've got here a wonderful pair of scrubs to keep them safe. We've got hair here and a mask as well, okay? Thank you so much for joining us on Thursday Crafternoons with Harbourfront Center. Once again, if you missed anything or if you wanted to see things again, you can tune into Instagram Live at 2. And then all of our videos, they're going to be uploaded to Harbourfront Center's YouTube account, usually within the next 24 hours. So you can go back and keep working on these, okay? Once you've finished, friends, feel free to tag us at Harbourfront Center or hashtag Thursday Crafternoon. What can you do with these? Well, I've got lots of great ideas. You could make a set of community helpers. You could, so that you had maybe a doctor and a nurse and then someone that drives the ambulance, a paramedic. And then you might have someone like a dentist who looks after teeth. What you could also do is use a nice big sheet of paper and draw the setting. So where all of these wonderful community helpers are. And you could act out a story or a play of how community helpers are able to take care of us, look after us, and support us in our communities. Okay? So once again, thanks for joining us. Tune in next week where we're going to be working on a textile project. So that's working with fabric we have around the home to share our favorite family memory or pastime. Okay, so again, tune in next week on Thursday at 1 for our next craft, which will be a textile arts project. Okay, take care.